Hey guys, today we are checking out an awesome security camera system kit in a box. It's another product from Reolink, and for those of you who follow my channel know that I love using their products because of their quality hardware, easy to use app with remote access, simple install and setup process, and a fantastic price point. This is a 4K system including 4 turret style cameras and the network video recorder or NVR. Today we're going to dive into the box, see what's included, and talk about the system specifications. There's a lot of information to cover here today, so let's get started. This will be the first of a few videos that I will be presenting on this system. Today is all about introducing you to the system's components and their purpose. We'll also discuss the technical specifications so you know exactly what you're getting if you purchase this system. This setup will cost you about $530 American, but often goes on sale for under $500. Product links will be in the description, including a link where you can buy this setup directly from Reolink with free shipping. I sometimes have coupon codes from Reolink, so keep an eye out for those in the description. Let's start off by looking at the model number for the NVR camera combo. It is RLK8-800D4. Of course, the RLK stands for Reolink, which is the brand name. The 8 is the number of channels or cameras that the NVR supports. 800D is the Reolink's 8 megapixel 4K dome camera. It's not the traditional dome camera, it's more of a turret style, but Reolink likes to refer to them as domes. The 4 at the end of the model number is the number of cameras included in the box. Looking at the NVR, which is model number RLN8-410, it offers 24/7 recording up to 8 4K security cameras. It comes pre-installed with a 2 terabyte hard drive, which is expandable up to 2 4 terabyte drives. So to put that into perspective, with the 4 cameras included, recording at 4K, you can store about a week's worth of data continuously recording on the 2 terabyte drive. Since the system maxes out at 8 terabytes, that'll give you about a month's worth of footage. Once the disk is full, oldest data will be deleted first and then replaced by the newer data. The NVR itself has a very small footprint of only 160 millimeters wide, 230 millimeters deep, and a height of 41 millimeters. That's 10.25 inches by 9 by 1.6. Nice and compact and easy to hide in a closet, storage area, or a crawl space, or wherever you decide to place the NVR. With the included 2 terabyte hard drive installed, it only weighs 1.38 kilograms or just over 3 pounds. On the bottom of the device, there are 4 rubber feet to keep it from slipping about, and it also gives it some good height for allowing airflow. On the front side of the device, we have a USB port. This is for the included USB mouse. It does not accept a keyboard, which would really be a nice to have when first configuring the device. The port also accepts a USB flash drive, a USB card reader, and a powered USB external hard drive, all for exporting 4K video clips in MP4 or H.264 format. This port is not used to record live feed directly from the device. It also supports a USB hub in case you need to add additional ports. Now when you first turn on the NVR, or when you unplug a device, the port glows blue in case you are using it in a low light situation. And just to the right of the USB port, we have an IR receiver, which is not used since there's no remote control included. Next, we have 2 status light indicators, green to show if the device is powered on, and the other to let you know the status of the hard drive. A solid orange light lets you know that the hard drive is detected but not recording. A blinking light indicates that it's actively recording your footage. The control panel on the right hand side allows some basic navigation within the NVR's operating system. We have a play pause button which opens the playback menu in the NVR, but you're going to need a mouse in order to navigate about this menu. Next to that we have a quad button which scrolls through the layout of how the cameras are displayed on the screen. a menu button to activate the system's menu, Then we have a select button followed by 4 arrow buttons to highlight items up, down, right and left. These arrow buttons are quite awkward in the menu and do not work as a replacement for the mouse. The arrows work great, however, when scrolling through the live view channels like you see here. On the side of the device, we have a cutout for a cooling fan. However, I cannot see a fan inside. We'll pop the cover off in a few minutes and see how hot this unit gets using the thermal imager. And on the other side of the unit, we have slits for airflow. So hopefully there's no fan in here, because I'd rather not have additional noise coming from this unit, especially if it's located in a bedroom. Now looking at the back side of the device, we have an on-off switch. The device is actually shut down through the user interface and then powered off using this button. Just below we have the power adapter input to provide electricity to the device. This unit uses about 23 watts of power when the 4 included cameras are connected and powered through the NVR. So that means if I were to connect the NVR up to a UPS or a backup battery power supply of about 1500 VA or 900 watts, it would last about 90 minutes. Check out my other video on powering security camera systems with backup battery power for more information on this topic. This port is an Rca Audio Out. Since the included cameras capture sound, this port can be connected to a receiver to listen in. And this is the front door audio over RCA. Moving along, we have another USB port. This is perfect because I can leave my mouse plugged in here and use the more conveniently located one on the front for my flash drive for when I need to export clips. Next we have an HDMI port to connect a monitor or TV. This port allows you to watch your live feed and playback in 4K. It also supports audio. If your monitor or TV has speakers, then you can listen in using this port and you will not need the RCA port to supply you the sound. This is the front door audio over HDMI. You can use HDMI network extenders here to watch the live feed in different rooms of your home or business over your network. These are awesome. I use them all the time to access my cameras quickly on any TV in my home. For more information on these HDMI extenders, do check out the video. I'll add a link for that in the description right below. Next we have a Vga port to watch live feed and playback in the maximum resolution of 1080p without audio. Both video outputs can be used simultaneously and the display will be duplicated across both. I really like this feature because if I want to keep my NVR in the garage, for example, I can keep a monitor there, connect it to the Vga port, and I can use my HDMI extenders to watch the live feed in any other room in my home. Here we have the Gigabit Lan Port, and this is where you plug the NVR into your home or business network. It can be connected anywhere onto your network, into a switch, router, modem, or a hub. The router will give it an IP address and it will look something like 192.168.0.152. In addition to this user interface, the NVR can be accessed via the Reolink app or from another computer using the Reolink desktop client or even Internet Explorer, Firefox, or Chrome. An internet connection is not required, however, to use this NVR and camera setup. Without internet, remote access into the system is not an option, but if you're using this setup at a cottage where there is no internet, it'll still record footage just fine. If you are away for several months at a time, you can set up each camera to record when motion is detected, so you don't fill up your hard drive with a couple of weeks of continuous footage of nothing happening. Right above the LAN port, there is an Esata port to connect an external hard drive up to 4 terabytes. This Esata port is not powered, so in order to use this port, the hard drive will need its own power supply. I'll add a link in the description below for a good 3.5-inch hard drive option to add additional storage to the device. So interestingly enough, there is a Sata to eSATA adapter when it's used on the smaller 2.5-inch SATA hard drives like an SSD or a laptop hard drive. The USB connection on the adapter supplies power to the drive. This means that you can take advantage of the USB power on the NVR as a power source to power those 2.5-inch drives. So you can extend your data storage on the NVR using one of these adapters and a 2.5-inch drive. Lastly, on the back, we have a series of 8 10/100 Mbps RJ45 ports or channels. This is where we plug in each of the cameras. These are PoE ports, or power over Ethernet, meaning they supply electricity to the cameras in addition to transferring data to and from the camera, including the audio and video feeds. They support IEEE 802.3 AT Reolink cameras up to 25 watts each. When the NVR is first powered on, the orange lights will flash, and once the cameras are connected and there is normal communication through the ports, we'll have a solid green light and those orange lights are going to flash, indicating that data is flowing. Let's pop open the cover of the NVR and see what's inside. There are screws on each side of the box and one on the back. No need to remove the 2 screws on the front because they are for the front panel. Right off the bat, there's no internal fan as expected. Perfect. They have a 2 terabyte Seagate hard drive installed with a Sata connection, which is a good brand, and I'm glad it didn't cheap out. Again, the maximum capacity for this slot is 4 terabytes, and I'll add a suitable 4 terabyte upgrade in the description below. After running the unit for a few hours, with 4 cameras connected, the internal components hit a maximum of 41.7 degrees Celsius or 107 Fahrenheit. I'm okay with that. No fan required here. This is obviously an indoor unit, but it can be installed in a garage or shed as long as it's protected from dust, humidity, and the cold. Keep in mind that its operating temperature ranges from -10 Celsius to 55 Celsius, and that's 14 Fahrenheit to 131 Fahrenheit. Like I mentioned, there are 4 D800 4K cameras included with this kit. If you require additional IP cameras, Reolink offers several other styles and resolutions. On the Reolink site, they tell you if the camera is going to work or not with the NVR. Like in this example right here, this one will work, but the Argus indicates that it will not work. So keep an eye out for that prior to ordering additional cameras. Also included in the box with the NVR, we have an instruction book. It shows you how to set up the NVR with the cameras, configure the operating system, and using the Reolink app. But I'll be showing you all that and more in this video and videos to come. They've also included an HDMI cable to connect the NVR to your TV or monitor. It's actually a pretty decent quality cable with gold connectors. They have a short 1 meter or 3.1 feet network cable. And lastly, we have the power adapter to power the NVR. Now let's have a look at the cameras that they included in the kit. Like I mentioned, these are 4K cameras, which means they are 8 megapixels each. They are IP66 weatherproof and function in temperatures from -10 degrees Celsius to 55, which is 14 Fahrenheit to 131. This winter I'll give them a try in -40 degrees temperature, and I'll leave an update in the description letting you know how they made out. These cameras themselves give off quite a bit of heat, and after running them for a few hours, they reach the temperature of 37 degrees Celsius or 99 Fahrenheit. From each of the cameras we have a cable, and it's split into 3 leads. A 12-volt power cord, which we will not be using since the NVR supplies electricity to the cameras over the data cable. Next, we have a reset button if you need to reset the camera back to factory defaults. Press and hold this button for about 10 seconds and then the camera will be reset. Like in this example right here, when I press and hold the reset button, we lose connectivity to the camera as it starts the reset process. Lastly, the RJ45 port is used for connecting the camera to the NVR. The camera's mount is made from a durable plastic, and the wire can either exit through the side of the camera or through the hole in the back where it would connect to its mounting surface. The mounting plate rotates off, and this is what gets installed onto your ceiling or onto the wall. The screw hole is aligned with the indicators on the drill template in this mounting plate. The camera shell is made from metal, and there is a little rubber seal around each half of the camera protecting it from the elements. Once the mounting plate is installed, the camera reattaches. When installed onto a ceiling, you can point it in any direction. When it's on a wall, you can also point it in any direction, but ensure that the word up is facing up. I've only scratched the surface here. We're going to do a whole other video on installing these cameras. Looking at the camera's face, we have a mic right here at the bottom. There is no speaker on the device, and therefore it does not support two-way audio. Just above that, the environment lighting sensor, so the camera knows when to switch to nighttime mode, which will activate the infrared lights and turn the video feed to black and white. If you want to keep the camera in daytime mode all the time, there is a setting in the app for that. Surrounding the camera's lens, we have 18 IR lights, and this is to assist with the night vision. They will assist the camera in viewing up to 30 meters or 100 feet away. The aperture of the lens is f2.0 and should be good for nighttime footage. We dedicated a whole other video to checking out the daytime and nighttime feed. The camera has a fixed 4mm lens with a horizontal field of view of 87 degrees horizontal and 47 vertical. This means when the camera is 20 units, that could be feet or meters away, we'll have a horizontal scene of 38 units. For more information on lens sizes, do check out my other video explaining how security camera lenses work. In behind the lens out of sight, we have a 1/2.7 inch CMOS sensor for capturing that 4K video at a maximum of 20 frames per second. And in the kit, we also have a handful of Reolink stickers, which is great advertising for Reolink, and it lets others know that they are being recorded. And next we have the drill template, which we saw earlier, so you know where to drill the holes into your mounting surface. We have the mounting screws and anchors. And next we have a bunch of network cables. There are 4 bundles of 18 meters or 54 feet network cables, and these are to connect the cameras with the NVR. Now these cables are terminated with male RJ45 connectors. I have 2 different types of connectors in my kit. One set of wires has a larger connector and the other one has a longer connector. There's a lot of cable included with this kit, but if you need additional network cable, do check out some indoor and outdoor spools that I have used before in the past. The included waterproof cable gland did not fit on either cable type. The grip was either too large and it didn't fit through the cover, or it was too long and the rubber seal had no space due to the length of the connector. That means you're going to need to remove the connector if you're installing your cameras outdoors or in a salty or dusty environment. Good thing they've included an additional 4 RJ45 connectors. You may also need to remove the existing RJ45 connector if you need to fit the cable through a wall stud or into a tight area. No crimpers are included, but they're required in order to replace the connectors. Here's a quick time lapse of the process, but I'll add a future video with more details on terminating network cables. I'll add a link to a pair of those crimpers and a tester tool to ensure that your terminations are done successfully. And so you're aware of the pinout or the order of the cables inside of the connector. They follow the T568B standard. Now with the new termination installed, here's how the cable gland fits on, protecting the connection from the elements. Alright guys, that covers all of the specs and features of the hardware included in this very impressive 4-camera 4K system. Reolink definitely has some top quality gear here, and I've obviously been playing with the system for quite some time now. And if you're considering security cameras or an out-of-the-box security camera solution with NVR, make sure to consider this one here. More videos to come, and again, links are below. Hit that like button if you found this video helpful, and don't forget to subscribe for more Reolink and home tech DIY projects.